What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and today we will be doing a live version of the Bundesliga Roundup. We are doing that for a few reasons. The main one being that it's Champions League this week. There's a ton of stuff we have to do. We're going to be doing a couple watch-alongs. We're going to be doing the Bayern and Barca one because, it's going to be fun. And we will also be doing the Dortmund game, obviously. So we got some previews. We got a bunch of stuff coming up this week. So it just made more sense to do this as a live today. Now, the ratings came out, so maybe I'll do another live after this or turn it into a video. I don't know if you guys would want the reaction as a video, rather a stream. I might text Taylor, see what he's thinking. But regardless, we're going to do the Bundesliga Roundup through an unusual source, and that's going to be having your guys' help with the entire thing. So the way that the stream is going to go is we'll be answering questions throughout the chat as well, but we'll be going through the games quickly, touching on each one of them. We'll be doing our power rankings, which I have a tier list. You guys will be picking them. And then finally, we will just show the fantasy to show how awful I am doing. So hopefully you guys are excited. Be sure to drop a like, say hello as well in the chat, and I'm going to get going and sharing on screen for you guys the results over the weekend. To take a look at the first one, which is the first game we're going to be talking about. I mean, it's our game. It was a fun game, but there's not much more to say. We won 4-3, so let's get into it. Let's say hello to everyone in the chat today. I know a lot of people are going to be talking about the ratings, and maybe we should have done the video on that, but regardless, I might do it as a video, and I think that might be funnier. So I'm going to try not to talk too much about the ratings today, guys. At least yet. I may do a stream after this about it, just to give you guys a heads up. But our first destination to talk about was the 4-3 result over Leverkusen. It was a massive result. It was. 4-3 is a nice but poor defense. Yeah, if you're gonna take away everything from that game, hopefully you guys are doing okay. It could have been ugly, but it was something else, man. It was something else. We won 4-3. Somehow we got it done. I wasn't expecting it. I thought 3 or 4 times it just didn't look like it was gonna go our way, especially after giving up the goal right away and then coming back looking like we made it 2-1. We did not. And then it just kept going back and forth. And then somehow after a beautiful free kick and then a penalty, we win 4-3 on the road against Leverkusen. And that's absolutely massive. Pong Grecic was fantastic. I think I learned how to pronounce his name finally, Luca. So big shout out to myself. Pong Grecic did do very well. He did. I think that was a real big takeaway is the fact that we may or may not have a little bit of depth in the middle of our back line there, which is good. But yeah, it wasn't a comfortable game. And the big takeaway also is that we've given up way too many goals, guys. Way too many goals. And Marco Rose is going to have to figure out a way to tighten up at the back. Otherwise, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. But we're going to move on to the second game now. And the second game you guys see there was Freiburg against Cologne, which was a decent game. Relatively boring in my opinion. I don't know if any of you guys tuned in and watched that game as well. But yeah, I'm starting to think maybe we should have done a stream on the reactions. But I was gonna do a video out of it. But anyway, so I'm gonna try not to talk about the ratings too much because I'm planning on doing a video. But I'm gonna need to talk to producer T, so I may end up going live right after this. We'll see. But yeah, Cologne got a big point. A big point. It was a back and forth kind of match. One that I feel like a draw was probably pretty fair. Freiburg and Cologne both had really good starts to the season. They're sitting in 5th and 7th after 4 games, which is that's pretty impressive considering that Cologne was basically a relegation battle last year and Freiburg is, usually middle of the pack. But regardless, it was a good game for them. Moving on to one of the teams that may or may not be in your guys' power rankings because you guys will be picking them. It's Greuther first against Wolfsburg. Mark Van Bommel, job done. He's won this game finally more than 1-0. And I thought it was a pretty impressive game. I mean, 2-0 away from home. I know it's against Greuther Fürth. Take it with what you will, but they're 4-0. That's 12 points from a possible 12. They've been absolutely killing it. And I don't know. Anyone watch that Wolfsburg game in the chat? I think that we conceded the most in the Bundesliga this season. We might have. I'll check the table out right now. In the Bundesliga, we have conceded 9 goals. Stuttgart has also conceded 9. Hertha has conceded 11, and Greuther Fürth has conceded 11. So we are tied for the 3rd most goals conceded in the league, which is hilariously poor. So I definitely take that away. Wolfsburg are the dark horses. They are, and I've told you guys many times. I love the transfer window that Wolfsburg did. I think they had the best, by far, the best transfer window out of the Bundesliga clubs. However, I didn't think Mark van Bommel had it in them. But they're 4-0, really good start to the season. I still think they need to be a little bit more clinical in front of goal. But they got 3 big points and they sit 12 for 12. Just saw the highlights. Yeah, it was a decent. Lemmer had an insane goal against Bayern. He did. We'll move on to the next game. But yeah, job done. I'm excited for you guys to pick the fantasy as well. It should be fun. Where did we go? All right, moving on over to the next matches. We had Mainz away win against Hoffenheim. That was a bit of a surprise for me. Now, Mainz, again, Bo Svensson has got this team playing very well. They were, besides Dortmund, the hottest team at the tail end of last season, and they've absolutely carried it on. Hoffenheim, yes, has had an iffy last season. They're 1-1-2 so far. Mainz is 3-0-1, a team that a lot might have thought would have been towards the relegation, are sitting in 4th place after four games, and have a pretty convincing. If you told us that we go away to Hoffenheim and win 2-0, I'd be delighted. The fact that Mainz is doing it shows that they're a team that, honestly, I don't think relegation is going to be a big issue for them. But keeping on some of the comments with you guys, Steve says, I think this year with us, Wolfsburg, Leverkusen, Leipzig, Gladbach are really good teams in it. Yeah, Wolfsburg, like I said, I put them in my prediction in 6th place. Now, when I did that video, I didn't see all the pieces that they were going to bring in over the transfer window because they brought in a lot of really, really good players. I just looked at Mark van Bommel and was just straight up nervous. So, Wolfsburg definitely will be a dark horse. Leverkusen, I think, will be good. Leipzig, will get into them because, awful start to the season for them. And Gladbach's not much better. They finally got their first win. I think Bayern will win, to be honest, and I don't disagree. But yeah, Wolfsburg dark horses for me. Dortmund will fight for 4th somehow. Fight for 4th? Come on. I don't think we'll be fighting for 4th. I think top 3 should be fair, but I think Wolfsburg sooner or later are going to hit a little rough patch. I think Wolfsburg knew that they would struggle to the Champions League, so they decided to do some smart business. So good way of putting it, a lot more football to focus on, and it'll be interesting to see how Wolfsburg bounce back. We haven't had any Champions League football yet. Champions League football is coming now. We're going to see what those depth of Wolfsburg will be able to balance out both Champions League. And because they got the group of life, in my opinion, in the Champions League. They have a good opportunity to get in the top 2 and move on. So it'll be cool to see how they balance out doing Champions League football with the league. And I think it will end up hurting them a little further down the line. Keep up the good work, Jash. I said Jay, I was going to say Josh, but I appreciate it, my man. I appreciate it. Wolfsburg out of the DFB Pokal in the first run, too. Yeah, and honestly, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Because now they can really focus on 2 competitions, the League and the Champions League. They brought in a ton of players. They don't have to worry about the Pokal, so there's their little bit of rest. It was a stupid decision with that substitution that got him kicked out, so kind of bitter pill to swallow, but hey, is what it is. Bo Svensson will be hard when we face them. I think they can make the Europa Conference League. That would be a mass. Could you imagine if Mainz finished in a Europa Conference League spot? That would be huge for them. Now, I think, again, they're going to eventually drift down to mid-table. But, the Conference League almost goes to mid-table. So there's definitely a big spot there. Wolfsburg may have a transfer window, but they gave us a gem. It's a good way of looking at it, Luca. They did give us a gem. Wolfsburg's defense is what makes them win games. Yeah, and you're spot on, Marvin. Looking at the goals for, I believe, looking at top of the table now, they've had 6 goals for, 1 goal against. They have a +5, so they've won every single game by 1 goal, and then the last game they just won by 2. Still not enough offense for me, but yeah, you're absolutely spot on. Defense is an absolutely incredible way of actually getting good performances. They don't have to give away as many chances as they have. Their defense is solid. Ours is a joke. You're not wrong so far. Yeah, Bo Svensson has got them on a good run. Excited to see Dortmund face them. It'll be fun. Matar is tuned in. He'll give us some perspective on the Bayern game. So Matar, hang around. It's coming up. It'll be cool to see. I want some of the Bayern fans' opinions because it was a solid game coming from them. So we're gonna move on to the Union Berlin and Augsburg game. If you guys want to put any thoughts in, do it now. I don't know if there's much to say. This was again a game that you could have probably predicted 0-0 and you would have saw it. Augsburg away from home are just going to sit in defense. Union Berlin thrive on defending. This was a very ugly game, 0-0 in the end. Union Berlin probably the team that should have tried to walk away with the 3 points. But yeah, if you guys want to touch on that game, you can. Otherwise, we're going to throw it to Matar very soon to see what his opinions are on his game. Dude, we're winning the season, and this is just the beginning. Oh, some confidence tuning in, some confidence. Berlin also got their first win. They did. We'll move on to that game eventually. Union Berlin. Rule Berlin, no competition. That's fair. Yeah. So I guess there's not much to say. I mean, it's a decent point for Union Berlin. It's a somewhat important point for Augsburg. They still sit second bottom of the table right now, I believe, on 2 points. In the basement is Greuther Fürth with 1 point, and then Augsburg with 2. Hertha Berlin got out of them. But now let's move over to a juicy game. It was the 4-1 win for Bayern Munich over Leipzig. Jesse Marsch got some question marks. I keep throwing it, and sorry for my U.S. men's national team fans, but I keep saying it was going to be a wake-up call for Leipzig, and a terrible start for them. I mean, it's some of those games were challenging. Some of them they just threw points away, but Leipzig sit in 12th place with 1 win and 3 losses, all relatively close games, but yeah, not really good enough. And Bayern 4-1 away. Huge freaking performance, man. Absolutely huge performance. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys want to take anything away from that, but, I mean, there's a difference right now. And watching Bayern put up these type of performances, running down Hertha Berlin, which, take of that what you will, but you can't get over the fact that they beat Leipzig away 4-1. And, yeah, not ideal, man. Not ideal. Leipzig may finish last in their group. Hope Tyler Adams shines. They very well could, man. They very well could. Here's Matar says, our defense has been so good lately. We are making more long passes, and we have been more clinical. Yeah, when I watch Bayern, man, I don't think being clinical has ever not been in their nature. I think maybe if you're referring to some of your surrounding pieces, you know Lewandowski will always be clinical. But I agree. I think, and Matar, again, I want to ask this to you and anyone else who wants to put a thought in, but I feel like Leroy Sané is finally finding a little bit of form. Not only for the German men's national team, but now for Bayern. He's had a real rough spot of late. I mean, Jamal Musiala, I don't need to talk about enough. I think he's been really shining. Gnabry, got some question marks over him, but Leroy Sané, I think, is taking his game to another level. Musiala, I again seeing all the Bayern fans praise him. This kid is good. I think it's a matter of time before one way, whether it's Sané, whether it's Gnabry, he's going to push one of them out, I think, because he keeps producing a little bit more. Under Silva is flopping hard. I did see that. It was a little bit embarrassing. I also see we are eyeing Arminia from Salzburg. January may be good. 30 mil is actually a steal for that cheat code of a player. I don't know if we'd get him in January. I'm not crossing my fingers for January, guys. I'm assuming if we, meaning Dortmund, target him, it would be once Haaland moves on. But yeah, he's definitely going to be in the looks at some top teams in the Bundesliga. Leipzig finished third in their group. I think third is probably Bayern will slip soon. See, that was what had me worried. I mean, the first 2 games of the season for Bayern, the 1-1 draw against Gladbach, I think they got lucky to get out with a point. And then moving on over and taking a look at the Cologne game. They won 3-2, but it was at home, and it was an ugly game. Bayern have followed up, and they look right back on what you're expecting from Bayern. They look really, really good. A 4-1 away win at Leipzig is nothing to take lightly. That's a big win, and it's got Bayern going in the right direction. Leipzig is finished. Who would have thought selling their coach, captain, and star center back in one window would have such a negative impact? Oh, Sean, I mean, you're not wrong. They did, in my opinion, it looked on paper that they recouped a lot of the talent that they went out. I mean, Sabitzer, it's a loss. Upamecano's a loss, but they brought in some good pieces. Jesse Marsch, he's saying all the right things right now, but a 1-0-3 start at your job at this level is not good enough, and he's going to have to get some results very, very soon. Sané was looking okay. Rumors going around that Bayern asked for I don't think they should take any more players, if I'm being completely honest. Matar says that Leroy has been massive on the left. He's been way better. He still has some mistakes in passing, but he's always been dangerous and more clinical than last season. I think that's a very fair assessment, Matar. I absolutely agree. I think that, yeah, I don't know. It always seemed like he was the player who got shit on. That's just as open and honestly as it is. His performances have not been up to what we know Leroy Sané can play with. But I've really enjoyed a lot of his performances, especially this year. I mean, I like watching him play for Germany. I think he's been a lot more influential. That Leroy Sané that Bayern were expecting to get. So, I mean, the fact that he's getting hot, Musala's turning into his own, Lewandowski will never stop scoring. Let's be honest, man. That 4-1 result away from home is an eye-opener and scares the crap out of any team looking to take on Bayern. Angie says, hey, Josh, hope you and Meg are doing well. Much love to the community. As you guys might have saw on the watch-along, right around the time Guerrero scored that free kick, I got a text message that my girlfriend's dog passed away, so she was really, really upset. So I didn't really react too much. Then I had to go, and when I came back, it was a penalty shot for Holland. So that crazy game was a little bit wild for me because my mind was a little bit elsewhere. But yeah, the community was fantastic, guys, and my girlfriend was sitting there looking at all the comments, and you guys really honestly made her day a little bit easier. So I from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate just all the kind words you guys put in through that, because it genuinely meant a lot to her, man. It really, really, really did. We need to take advantage of Bayern's slip-up, something we haven't done for 3 seasons. You're spot on. I mean, we technically did for the long majority of that 18-19 season. A season in which I didn't think we had a shot for the title. Bayern did everything to give us the title that year, and we still couldn't get it done. But, yeah, man, I don't know. As for Gnabry, he's back to his 2020 form. Yeah, Dani Olmo is quality. Take him, and Leipzig won't make top 4. Well, almost being targeted by Barca. So there's a chance he may return to his Barca roots. Lucas says, why wasn't Dortmund able to sign Messi, JK? Well, you know why. Bayern has dips in the Bundesliga and another 50 years at this rate. Has dibs in the Bundesliga. I desperately hope not. When Sané plays direct football, he's a different animal. He has pace, quick feet, decent shot on him. He is. You can tell when he's in his groove and when he's not, because when he's not in his groove, those one-on-ones don't come off. His decision-making isn't there. And he hasn't lived up to the billing at Bayern, let's be honest. And now it's starting to seem like he might have turned a corner, which is frustrating for anyone who doesn't want them to win. But yeah, so I mean, that's impressive. But let's move on to the next match. And this is the disappointing one for me. It's Eintracht Frankfurt and it's Stuttgart. A game which I watched in its entirety. It was on Sportsnet in Canada, which was nice. Frankfurt looking for their first win of the season under Oliver Glasner, playing in that 4-2-3-1, finally getting to look like he might have thrown in that Wolfsburg kind of way of playing. They went away from that 3-4-1-2 that Frankfurt was so far known of under Adi Hüttner, and Glasner looked like he was going on his way to his first win. They were up 1-0. They created chances. Kostic had a nice finish in the end, showing that he's still a vital piece to this puzzle. And in the end, a 10-men Stuttgart. Bora got a red card out of Stuttgart. They weren't able to capitalize, and Bora also hit a crossbar right at the end of the game. And 10-men Stuttgart came back and got a 1-1 draw. So my takeaways from that game is Frankfurt still have a lot of question marks. The transition from that 3-4-1-2 to 4-2-3-1 has been a little bit, I guess, too challenging is one way to put on it. And then for Stuttgart, they're 1-1-2. They'll take that point every single day, but those are 2 massive lost points for Frankfurt, which so far doesn't look like they're going to be challenging for anything really besides mediocre mid-table. Lucas says, Josh, after 4 match days, how would you estimate our chances of winning the league? 15%, man. I'm just trying to be honest. At this moment, I'd say we have about a 15% chance. I mean, we're obviously still in the thick of things. If you look at the Bundesliga table, we sit in 3rd with 9 points, Bayern 10, Wolfsburg 12. You look at our performances, unconvincing every single game besides the Frankfurt game. I don't know how we got that win against Leverkusen. It's vital that we did. The only reason I say the 15% is that our offense is fantastic. It is. It's so good. We'll always find ways to produce up front. It's whether we can defend. And I don't know. I do not know. I do not know if we can get it done. And that's where the question marks come in. But if Marco Rosa can't figure a way out for this team to defend, whether it's a switch in shape to a back 3, now that we got some healthy players, if we can just tighten it up and find a way to actually defend, there's always a chance, man. There's always a chance. We're going to have to see. But, yeah, with the way Bayern's starting to catch form, it's not easy, man. It's not easy. Josh, we are winning this season. a little more confidence than myself. Well, we'll go to Barca or Bayern. I don't even think that Barca can pay 70 million for him. That could also be true. Musiala has played 46% of possible minutes this season and is the second most dribbles so far this season. Yeah, he's been important every single time he's touched the pitch. He really has. And Gnabry's got to be careful because that position is going to be up for grabs very soon. Frankfurt looked like they're going to be in the Conference League fodder. It could be. Frankfurt lost too many vital people at the top while they try to get together. Way too early to predict the league after 4 games. It's very true. I just thought that, and you're right, Angie, I just thought that the transition would have been a little bit easier because I really rate Oliver Glasner as a coach. Obviously, getting Wolfsburg to Champions League football, he's a proven coach at this level and going into what was already a very good Frankfurt side. But again, 2 very different play styles. I don't think when it came to Wolfsburg, they played the 4-2-3-1 consistently. When it came to Frankfurt, they pretty much played. It was a little bit more adaptable, but they really stuck to that 3-4-1-2. 2 very different styles. Glasner is trying to get the players into positions to make this successful. And obviously using Under Silva is a massive loss. There are big losses for them, but 0-3-1 is not the best start, and I expected a little bit more from Frankfurt, but I mean, I don't think they're going to be relegation battlers by any stretch. I would give us a chance of winning 45. Damn white. I respect it. Marco Rose is blessed for us. I'm hoping he can tighten up that defense, though. Yeah, but winners win those games with awful performances. Luca, it's an excellent point. We did manage to beat Leverkusen away, which is not something to be taken lightly. But the squad needs to stay healthy, and we need to learn how to defend is the biggest thing for me. Do you know if a page that has full game replay? I'm going to miss the first half of the Besiktas game, wondering where I could catch it in full. If you got DAZN Canada or a DAZN, you can start the game from the beginning. Now, it's a subscription. You have to pay for it. But that's the only one I know that you can, when you click on the match, you can tune in from the very beginning. But let's move on over to the next match, which is the second last one. And it's Hertha Berlin winning 3-1 against Bochum, which is a very crucial win and a convincing away win for Hertha, which just shows that Bochum lack a little bit of quality. I mean, Bochum's 1-0-3, as is Hertha now. And they each are on 3 points, but Hertha needed to win. They started the season 0-3. And now they got their first win. They got a couple pieces in. I mean, they lost Matthias Cunha, which is a huge loss for them. But they found ways to still score goals, and hopefully they can keep that going for Hertha's sake. Otherwise, I don't know, there was going to be some question marks, so they weren't able to get this points over Bochum, but it was a big, big win for them. Glasner is good, but not only there were a lot of changes, the board, but the team as well. Players acting like deers caught in the headlights right now. That's very true. I mean, we saw what Kostic wanted to do, man. He wanted out of there so badly and was stuck and came in, and honestly, it's the right response to come in there and be excited and score a goal, which was nice. And they did have a nice pickup there. Nice little loanee from AC Milan. To be honest, Frankfurt have been dreadful for quite some time now, ever since they lost Under Silva. That is true. And even at the tail end of last season, once they found out that Adi Hüttner was going to Gladbach, they pretty much gave away that Champions League position. So, I mean, a lot of question marks over Frankfurt for sure. About time Hertha did something. Don't worry, it won't last. It's fair. All we needed in the game was a back three at the game. It was a big gap between us and the center backs, but a back three would help Rafa Meunier and our center backs. It would. Pangasic could be on the outside right, Akanji outside left, Hummels to the middle, wing backs. The back three could definitely be an option for us. I absolutely agree. Over the course of the last few years, Bayern have always winning the games in which were horrible and frustrating to me. It always seems like they're able to do it. It could mean something. That is very true. Bayern find ways to win games, and the game last year against Leverkusen was a perfect example. Leverkusen's winning 1-0, and Bayern found a way to come back and win 2-1, and that's when Leverkusen was sitting top of the table. So yeah, I mean, it is important to win games ugly, but there's still, like if I'm picking a team right now, if Bayern and Dortmund were going to go head-to-head, if I've had $100, you had to put it on Bayern because our back line is just in shambles right now. But there's nowhere to go but up for the back four. And with our offense doing what it could, it's fantastic. Frankfurt are looking like they're not able to replace Silva. Yeah, Robori was supposed to be the one putting the goals in, and in this game, he did do pretty well. He drew a red card, could have scored if he wasn't taken down, and he hit the crossbar in the last minute of the game. So there is a chance he could find form. He's a talented, he's a Colombian international, did some very well at River Plate, but I mean, you're plucking 28 goals from Under Silva, so it's obviously going to be a transition-ish year for them. Matar says, when he plays trash, Lewandowski will always save us. That's what and looking to that Leverkusen game last year, when Leverkusen were top of the table, looking to maybe even get a point or 3, Lewandowski pulled something out of his ass right at the end of the game. But let's move on to the final game of the weekend. Gladbach won 3-1 at home against Arminia to get their first win of the season. Bielefeld not looking too good, 0-3-1 with a similar record to Frankfurt, sitting on 3 points, where Gladbach are now up to 4 with a 1-1-2 record. Convincing win. Honestly, about time. They're good enough. They should have had more points than they originally had right now. But, is what it is. Big points for them, and it was a decent performance. It really was, in my opinion. I should shut his mouth and not comment on Dortmund's players. It's about time we step up and show the mentality in the Leverkusen game, and this year we need to win the Bundesliga. Well, we're going to have to prove it. It's a season that there was a lot of hope around. In my opinion, going into the season, I was pretty confident. I was hoping that there's going to be a transition period for Bayern. It seemed like the first 2 games showed that there may be, but the last 2 have just been convincing wins for Bayern. They're starting to hit their stride, which is very nerving. Our games have not been convincing whatsoever. So we're going to have to see, man. We're really going to have to see which way that they go. Gladbach are an annoying team to play. Only Sommer only performs against us. Yeah, Sommer's an excellent keeper, in my opinion, man. He really, really is. I was actually relieved for Gladbach. Yeah, and they don't have European football. Let's not forget that. They're not in any type of European football this year. So a top 4 performance for them is vital. They just picked up a decent manager to replace Marco Rosa, and they're probably expected to get in the top 4. And I don't think that's unrealistic with the squad that they have. They kept all their players. They have a good manager. They're trying to switch systems, playing in that back 3, which they did today, which is what Adi Hüttner loved to do over at Frankfurt, and they looked way better. I think you should expect to see that 3-4-2-1 going forward. Joe Scally has been very useful playing down the right or left-hand side when he's needed. But yeah, it's good to see. Bayern have Neuer to save their asses. Now we have Kobel, not comparing. You're making great points though, Luca. You're making great points, because what I've noticed so far, and no disrespect to Berkey, but we could have been a lot worse off right now than 9 points. 9 points from 12 when you're competing for the title is okay, considering that Bayern have dropped points as well. But there's been 2 or 3 huge opportunities this season, straight on one-on-ones, 1v1s, that Kobel's come up big. And if it was Berkey, the confidence of him making that save was just never there. Never there, man. So I absolutely agree with you. Kobel is a blessing and a really, really good signing so far. Holland stops Dortmund being mid-table. I don't know if that's quite true. I mean, the supporting cast needs to bring it up, but I mean, I think Brandt was pretty decent. A little opportunity for him. We have Guerrero once he gets back form. It's just finding a shape that this team's comfortable playing with and going from there and seeing how that we can do. But they're like, Dortmund will, in my opinion, have no problem getting a top 4. But I mean, right now they're still in the thick of things, trying to compete 4 games in for the title. Because they could, like I said, they could be easily on like 5 points right now. Kobel's had some big saves and things have went our way. Next test is coming up. Let's see what happens. It's a tough side in Besiktas. Hey, Bay. Gladbach will win against Mary in the Pokal. Yeah, it's a tough Pokal match, man. It really is. Hey, buddy. Hey, my man. How are you doing? Imagine if United get knocked out and play Europa League. Big CR7 in Europa. It's not unrealistic, but I think that they have an easy enough group to get through. Are you going to rock a mustache again in November? I'll start saving now. I don't know. Did you guys like? I feel like my mustache was rough, but I'll probably will. I probably will. I'm not gonna lie, guys. But all right, guys, it is time to now move over to the Bundesliga, or actually the JJD TV power rankings, and you guys are choosing it. So let me pull it up on screen for you guys. We are going to do a Bundesliga. I keep saying Bundesliga. I guess it's a Bundesliga power ranking, but it's a JJD TV Bundesliga power rankings chosen from you guys in a tier list. I've got 5th all the way up to 1st. So let's hear it. So, like, let's think about it, guys. So, put some names in right now for the 5th place spot. We'll start at 5th. Make it harder. Who do you guys looking at this list was decent? Oh my god. I did not even notice that. Did you guys just see that? I googled Bundesliga tier list. They put a Red Bull can for Leipzig. Oh my god. Oh, I honestly did not notice that. I did not notice that. Oh, that is so funny. I did not. They're not going to be in the power ranking. Let's be completely honest. But that is freaking hilarious. Oh my god. Oh, why is there a can? It's supposed to be Leipzig. I didn't create this. I literally Googled Bundesliga tier list. And this popped up, and they gave Leipzig. Oh, that is so funny. Okay, well, Leipzig's in there. They're not going to make it, but let's do this power ranking, guys. We need to go for 5th place. 5th place. Freiburg's a fair shout, a 1-1. So if I'm looking at the draws, I'm going to put some names up for you guys that I'm thinking of. So for me, I mean, the Freiburg game, average. I don't know if that is quite ready for the power rankings. Arminia, no. Leverkusen. Dortmund could be in there. It wasn't a convincing win, but they got the job done. Oh, this is an older list. It's an older list, that's why. Either way, I don't know if any of the promoted teams, Greuther, Fürth wouldn't have been in. Bochum wouldn't have been in. So yeah, either way, Bochum or Greuther, Fürth wouldn't have been in. So I still use this list. So, Mainz, absolutely. I'm going to put the 5 in the bottom, and then we'll go from there, guys. Mainz, absolutely, I agree with you. Maybe Dortmund, we're going to see. Not Frankfurt, not convincing. I'll toss Hertha for now. It was a good performance. Absolutely not Augsburg, not Cologne. Bayern, definitely. Wolfsburg and Gladbach. Anyone else I'm missing, guys? Besides the energy can. Freiburg was decent. I don't know for me if it was enough for a performance, but I'll put them in. All right. So now let's actually, we'll start with first. Make it easy. So going for first place, guys, out of this list, who impressed you the most? Let's see it now. For first place. And I'm going to tally it up now. I mean, I think Bayern have a huge shout for first. I mean, Wolfsburg maybe. But Angie says Bayern. For first place, Bayern or Wolfsburg? Arminia. Bayern, all right. I'm seeing 2 options. I'm seeing Bayern and Wolfsburg, and I think those are probably the most realistic. But the fact that Bayern won 4-1 from home, or on the road, I don't think you can go against that. Wolfsburg won on the road against Greuther Fürth 2-0. Bayern won on the road 4-1 against Leipzig. I think it's a no-brainer. We're gonna put Bayern up in first place for the power rankings. I think it's very fair. It makes sense. All right, let's go for number 2. I'm seeing from what the only name I really heard was Wolfsburg. You guys agree? Wolfsburg for second place. I see Steve saying Gladbach for second place, which Gladbach's in there. They got an impressive win, routine win. Union first. I don't know if Union Berlin deserved first. I mean, I think Wolfsburg probably second. They stay top of the table. I'm seeing a lot of yeses coming in. Wolfsburg second from Angie. Red Bull can for the LOLs. I might have to add another tier to this. I'm not even sure now how to do that. But all right, let's do it. Wolfsburg going 12 for 12. 4-0-0 for second place. I think that's fair. Who's for third now, guys? Angie says BVB for third. BVB for third. White was not happy with Bayern getting first, but come on, guys. An unbiased, like I said. Wolfsburg, impressive, yes, to be at the top of the table right now with 12 points, but they won away against Greuther Fürth, who has been very, very poor. It's easy. Bayern won on the road against Leipzig in Leipzig, 4-1. But yeah, you guys are saying BVB for third, which is interesting. It's interesting. Martar's saying Augsburg's so clear. The 0-0. It's sad, but BVB for third. All right, we'll put BVB for third. Now, again, I think maybe they deserve to be in the top four for one of the games of the season so far. But, I mean, again, a lot of question marks still around Dortmund. But the number one thing is that they can put the ball in the back of the net. We know that. And a 4-3 win, it was fun. But what about for fourth place, guys? I think Dortmund's fair. They won 4-3 away from home as well, which is pretty important, against Leverkusen, who were on really good form. Leverkusen were top of my fantasy from last week. So, Angie's saying Leverkusen for fourth. Interesting for the loss. Mainz is a fair shout. Someone says Schalke. Freiburg. Interesting. Lucas is Leverkusen. Do you guys think Leverkusen, eh? After the loss at home against Dortmund. That's very interesting. Because I think Mainz is a really good shout. We have a couple for Mainz. All right, guys. I've only heard Mainz and Leverkusen. So, one more time. Put it in one more time. Leverkusen or Mainz. Because I do think Mainz is a fair shout. I didn't even have Leverkusen as even one of the options, really. Just because they lost. I mean, Hertha got their win. Freiburg. I'm seeing Mainz. Mainz. All right. It is Mainz. And I think that's totally fair. Mainz 2-0 win on... And yeah, like that's a very impressive win. Like, if Dortmund were to win 2-0 in Hoffenheim, I'd be impressed. You guys saw that. You saw the LOLs for Leipzig, eh? All right. Oh, yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do one more vote at the end, and I think we're going to know who's going to win it. All right, fifth place, Gladbach I'm seeing. So sad to see Wolfsburg over Dortmund. But again, Wolfsburg are top of the table right now. In the power rankings, I think it's fair. But yeah, all right, let's hear for fifth place, guys. Who do you guys have fifth on our power rankings? I'm seeing Gladbach. I'm seeing Leverkusen. We need a few more votes. It's going to be one of Gladbach or Leverkusen for our fifth. Gladbach picked up a 3-1 win. Leverkusen lost at home 4-3. Are you just going by this weekend? Yes, Angie, we're going by just this weekend. Just after this weekend result. Mostly. It's very close. Gladbach is looking to take the lead. And again, yeah, the power rankings, they take a little bit into consideration over the last few games, but all in all, the main focus, I'm going to say it's like 70-30, looking at the games that just happened over the weekend, and then taking everything into consideration, which is why I'm seeing a lot of Gladbachs. And I think that's a very fair, a really fair power rankings, guys. So to go over it one more time before we get into the final section, in fifth place for the JJD TV power rankings, voted from you guys, is fifth place. It's Gladbach. They had a 3-1 win, first win of the season. Convincing performance. I agree with it. Fourth place is Mainz with a 2-0 win at Hoffenheim. Very impressive for Mainz's Bo Svensson's team to the start of the season. I enjoyed it. Third place is Dortmund, and I think that's fair. They won in Leverkusen 4-3. It was a good performance as well. Some question marks about our defense, obviously, but winning that kind of game is important. Second place, Wolfsburg. 2-0 win on the road against Greuther Fürth. Not the toughest opposition, but regardless, they're 12 from 12. And then in first, with probably not much debate, you guys know who it is. It is Bayern. They won 4-1 at Leipzig. And yeah, probably right now the last team I'd want to face. But the final vote, guys, I would just like to hear RB or Red Bull or Energy Can. I'm assuming it's that. But who was the worst team over the weekend? Now, some of them aren't available, but I mean, let's be honest. There's one option. It's the Energy Can. Leipzig lost 4-1 at home against Bayern. Absolutely ran over. Taking a look at their former manager, their former captain, and one of their best players, and Upamecano, in last place for the JJD TV power rankings for the worst performance of the weekend goes to RB Leipzig, which, again, I didn't make this tier list, guys. Someone else did. And it was an Energy Can, and I thought that was freaking hilarious. So that is it. take a look, guys. A nice hard look at the JJD TV power rankings voted from you guys from 1st to 5th. And then the worst performers of the week goes to Leipzig. And I think it's fair. Especially because on the other side of the team, 3 of their players, arguably their best defender, their captain, one of their best midfielders, and their coach. So thank you guys so much for doing that. That is what it looks like, the JJD TV power rankings. It was just perfect. It was just perfect, guys. And then in the final section of the Bundesliga Roundup, let's take a little look on over to the Fantasy League. And let me know how you guys are doing, or if you see your name popping up at all. But this is the Bundesliga, or the JJD TV Bundesliga Fantasy League. In first place, is any of you guys Gladiator 11? Because they're killing it. This is back-to-back weeks they've been top. They're sitting on 593 points, and I have the power to kick them out of the league. So, you know, but no, I won't do that. But no, that's impressive. Back-to-back for them. Let me know if you guys see your name as I cruise down here. Anyone's name? Where's OC? Where are you sitting? But that's the top 20. That's the top 20. Going into second place, Lucas says he's around 40th, so he's doing better than me. But look at Purdue. Oh, look at Mr. Carlson. I'm not sure if Mr. Carlson is still here or not, but he is sitting in 22nd, which is respectable. We got Producer T sitting 475 points and 26th, which is also pretty respectable. It's decent. Luca, is this you in 40th or no? But yeah, Gladiator 11 is killing it. We got Daddy Life sitting in... You got to go to page, I think, 6 for me. I'm embarrassing. Yeah, Mr. Carlson's doing very well. He is here. Look at my man go. I don't see Luca. I'm not sure where Luca is. Luca, what, that was you in 40th? We got Jonas Ballers, which I thought was an excellent name as well. We got Dan's 11. I'm doing embarrassing, man. I'm doing just embarrassing. And where is it? Finally... There he is. Aha. See, if I could kick myself out of the league, I would, just to save the embarrassment. But I'm sitting in 70th place with 403 points. Big Harry Balls is doing well as well. There's OC. I'm up on OC. Sitting in 75th place with 394 points. But yeah, that is who is leading the way. Gladiator 11 with 593 points. Kicking the crap out of myself. But all right, guys, we're gonna wrap that up for today. That is the Bundesliga JJD TV Roundup. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys all tuning in the chat, getting the fantasy, taking a look at, seeing that I suck, but it is okay. It is what it is. Gladiator 11, big shout out to you. We did very well with our power rankings, I thought, and had the LOL at the end, taking a look at Leipzig. And then it was just, it was a fun little stream, guys. So I appreciate all the love. If you guys haven't done so yet, be sure to drop a like on your way out. Subscribe as well if you guys are new. And let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the live version of the roundup or if you preferred videos. And we'll take it in consideration. Because with Champions League, it's hard to get the video out in time. The live just is a little bit easier. So yeah, we'll... I forgot my subs this weekend. That's a tough one. That's a tough one, my man. But yeah, cheers, my friends. And in the comments, let us know if you like the lives, because we will try to do that a little bit more if you guys like it more than the videos. And we will see you guys for a couple watch-alongs this week. Cheers, friends.